And now introducing, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trimmed in light blue. He weighed in at 122.4 pounds. His record, 1 victory versus 2 defeats. Fighting out of the Bronx, introducing Rafael Castillo. And now his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the gray and blue tonight. He weighed in at an even steady 120 pounds. Tonight, he is making his professional debut in the ring, fighting out of Brooklyn, presenting Justice Little Nasty Bland. The referee for this fight is Patrick Sullivan.
All right, fighters, been given instructions in the dressing room, okay? Respect the sport, respect the rules, and most of all, show respect for each other. Touch gloves, come out fighting at the bell.
Historically, Brooklyn against the Bronx. It doesn't usually get better than that.
The boogie down Bronx.
So Justice Bland out of Brooklyn, New York. And Rafael Castillo Rosendo out of the Bronx. Brooklyn and Bronx, here we go. Scheduled for 4 rounds. Justice Bland is one of the taller super bantamweights, 120 pounds, 5'9". Those guys usually go about 5'3" or so. He is 5'9".
You got to give Justice Bland a lot of credit. He's in the ring, he's training, but he also is studying biology in college right now. He's in New York City College of Technology.
You and I were at the press conference the other day, and I thought I was hearing things wrong. So yesterday at the
Biology
weigh-in,
major.
I went over to him, and I said, wait a minute, did I hear that you're studying biology? And he said, you heard that right. New York City College of Technology. And I said, where do you find time to study biology and train? He said, hey, there's 24 hours in a day. I even sleep a couple of those hours.
You got to love it. You got to love it, Randy. And, you know, listen, this is a pretty good, some pretty good action here. You know, you got Bland throwing some good shots, and Castillo looks right in it, though. He's tough, and he's taking everything Bland's giving him, and he's right in his face. Ooh, tries to body up on him right there.
Well, Castillo he goes about 5'4". He had to lose at the weigh-in yesterday. He had to lose a pound, had to put on the rubber suit, go in the back, warm area, jump rope for a while. Didn't take him long to lose a pound in this hot East Coast weather, Northeast Coast. I mean, it is hot in New York, and it'll be even hotter over the weekend. That's where Castillo wants to be. He wants to keep Bland on the ropes and pound away. Referee, Pat Sullivan.
I like the way Bland is keeping his composure. You know, Castillo's coming in and bum rushing him. But I like the way Bland is keeping his composure. He's got a lot of poise out there. He's keeping his stick moving. He's trying to catch him on the way in. He's not getting flustered. Listen, this is his pro debut, as Castillo tags him with something nice. But listen, this is his pro debut. The jitters are there.
Castillo daring him, saying, come on, you're not doing anything to me. But usually that means you did hit me. And he got nailed with a hard hook there by Bland. And now he's still daring him.
Getting hit with some, hey, listen, he's pounding his chest, but Bland's hitting him with some nice jabs, stiff jabs, and scoring points. Castillo wants to make this a street fight. He just wants to come in there and start banging away. And Bland's doing the right thing. He's keeping his distance, and he's using that jab and trying to score his points.
End of round number 1. If you happen to be a fan of Castillo, you might want to give him the round. But he was doing, I thought, a lot of showboating in there. He did land a few shots, and he did make it interesting with his play action. But for the first 2+ minutes of the first round, I thought it was a boxing lesson by Bland. I gave Bland that first round.
I gave Bland the first round also, but you know what? Great round, close round. but I gave the edge to Bland. I think he kept him at bay, and he kind of, you know what, Bland has to be careful. He's fighting a shorter guy. He's got to watch that head. I think he got banged. They banged heads a little bit, and Bland has a little bit of a shiner under that right eye.
Oh, yes, he does. And I'm surprised they're not using ice or an end swell device on it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them really touch that. Let's see what happens. Round number 2. Let's keep a look under the right eye of the taller man, Justice Bland, blue trunks. Castillo in the, what do you call it, gold, yellow?
Gold, aqua, red, white. He's got all kinds of colors in there, but I would say definitely gold trunks with the trim of red and white and aqua. He's got to, you know, Bland better be careful because Castillo's just kind of bum rushing in. Oh, and he catches him with a good right hand, Bland, over the top.
See, that's where Bland should be, in the middle of the ring, using the real estate. Big ring. It's around, somewhere around 18, even 20 feet around. He's got to use that real estate like he's doing now. But he's got to put some punches. You can't just run.
He's definitely got to touch him to get those points. You can't just dance around, but at the same time, you know, he's doing what he has to do to maybe take a little out of Castillo. Castillo came out there full of, full of energy in that first round, and he's trying to make it a dogfight here in the second round. Bland has to be smart right now, and in the third and fourth round, he can take a little more chances.
Good matchup here between Justice Bland in the blue, making his professional debut, and Rafael Castillo, 1 and 2, trying to make a fight out of it. And as you said, Nick, trying to make a street fight out of it.
No doubt, and you know what? The last couple of, fights, this fight, the last fight, one thing that Joe Guardia does, he checks you, and he wants to know what he has right away. And he puts these guys in tough fights. They're not easy fights. You know, they're very competitive. Ron Katz does a heck of a job matching these fights.
Ron Katz, New York State Boxing Hall of Fame, truly one of the great matchmakers, has learned from some of the best like Teddy Brenner. So Ron has developed over 40 years, one of the premier matchmakers in this sport.
He likes to see entertaining fights. And you know what? And a lot of people want to get coddled, and they want to be brought up the ranks, and they want to get their wins and knock out guys that aren't really good fighters and get their wins. But Ron Katz puts them in there, and he puts entertaining fights in there.
And as you saw in the first one, Ron knows his styles. How could you think that a 2-6 guy was going to beat a 1-0 guy? Because sometimes you got to take records and put them on the side.
No doubt about it. And that's why you have trainers and fighters that need to do their homework, get some intel, know what these guys do, and train real hard, especially in a 4-rounder. 4-rounders are so scary. You know, I've been on the promotional end, I've been on the management end, and those 4-rounders, until you get to those 6 and 8 rounders, are real tough.
End of round number 2.
Here we go, 3 out of 4. Third round here, Randy.
Round 3, as you said, scheduled for 4 in this super bantamweight bout between Justice Bland in the blue trunks, 21 years old, against Rafael Castillo, 30 years old. And so far, I've given the first 2 rounds to Justice Bland on the strength of his boxing. He idolizes Terrence Crawford. He said who has helped him a lot, has met Terrence Crawford, gave him some advice and everything. Terrence Crawford gave Bland some advice, and he said he said, Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter. And you can see a little bit of that jab, except Terrence Crawford is a southpaw. I don't like sometimes the overhand right that Bland is throwing. It's a lazy overhand right.
It really is, and he throws a little bit of a lazy jab at times. At times it's real stiff and it's real hard. It's a hard left stick, but times he is lazy with that jab, and Castillo's coming over the top of it. But this round, Bland looks a little bit more kind of, you know, in his little groove, in his little rhythm. Looks like he's getting used to it. That first round, he looked like he was kind of like, whoa, wait a second, I'm in the mix here. I am in my pro debut. But now it looks like he's kind of really taking his time and picking his shots and using some good combinations and getting some good shots in on Castillo. But Castillo is no joke. Castillo is coming after Bland. And, you know, he's a tough, hard-nosed kid.
And just a few moments ago, referee Pat Sullivan told Castillo to keep the punches up. And again, he's telling him to keep them up. They're all over each other. Let's see if these punches are indeed low.
Nice exchange.
Nothing low there. These guys are picking their headshots. I'm not sure what that was about from referee Sullivan.
What is he looking for? I don't quite know what he's looking for right there.
He's going to break him here, obviously. Let's see what he says. Just a break there. And Bland doing what he has to do, using this real estate. There's a much better overhand right by Bland. Gets nailed with his hands down, but it wasn't much of a punch by Castillo.
Nice right hand by Castillo.
Yeah,
and
a couple jabs landed too. There was that, what I call a safety first right hand. As you're backing away, you kind of poke out the right hand.
What a pro debut, huh?
Wow.
You think you're coming in there, hey, I'm going to get my win, I'm going to get my pro debut. Hey, he's got some bumps and bruises on that face under the both eyes for Bland, but listen, the end of the round, Castillo came back and caught him with some good shots, but I think Bland did enough earlier in the round.
That is, I think, a tough round to call.
No doubt about that.
You know what?
I'm sorry, Randy. Second part of that round, you have to give to Castillo. First part of that round, you got to give to Bland. So, I mean, that was a tough one to call.
It really is. You know what? Just for giggle's sake, and because I thought it was so close, I am going to give the round to that man. You're looking at Rafael Castillo, which means on my scorecard, it's 2 rounds to that man, Justice Bland, to 1 round for Castillo, which tells me whoever wins this round, I mean, if Castillo wins the round, you could have a draw. If Bland wins it, he's got himself a decision. Let's see who wants it more.
Let me tell you something. His corner's got to be telling him, hey, you got to win this round regardless. You know, it's that close.
Pat Sullivan calls him to the middle of the ring, has him touch gloves. It's not written in stone that you have to touch gloves. You don't want to touch gloves, you don't have to. But it's good sportsmanship. And I think referees should always try to bring the guys together for a touch of the gloves.
That was sportsmanlike. You know, Bland lost his mouthpiece
right
in the middle of a punch being thrown by Castillo. Castillo held off and didn't let it land.
Yeah. You know, it could happen to you too. So, and the rule is during a lull in the action, and during that quick lull, Pat Sullivan stopped the action, had the mouthpiece washed off. Oh, a big swing and a miss by Rafael Castillo. He really put everything on that left hook, but missed by a country mile. Missed with a big right hand there. Bland keeping his distance, leans away to his right and has a right hand go over his shoulder. Bland gets warned there about a shove as he backs to an area he doesn't want to be against the ropes.
You know, that's Castillo. Castillo has to stick with that game plan. cutting off the ring, getting him in a corner, and fighting in close. When he stays to the outside, Bland uses that nice jab, that straight right, and he wins rounds. He wins points in the judge's eyes. Because this is where Castillo wants to be. He wants to make it inside, fight inside.
Right, for 3 minutes a round, 180 seconds a round. I think he knows that he's got to win this round to pull something out. Castillo not letting up. Pulling Bland against the ropes. Bland fighting right back with his back against the ropes in the corner. Now tries to punch his way up, but then again backs into the corner. You wonder if his legs are failing him right now.
Nice exchange, nice body shot by Bland. Castillo is walking him down and wants this fight. I mean, he wants to win. You can see it in Castillo's eyes.
Wow, if a fighter ever wanted to win a round, you can see that it's Castillo. And again, I think it's a close round with about 40 seconds to go in the final round here, fourth and final round of this super bantamweight contest. They trade jabs. Bland got the best of that one. Now they fall into a clinch. They muscle each other. Now Bland he muscles Castillo around. And Pat Sullivan warns him about the shove. Nice jab by Bland. Another one takes a right hand to the head. 15 seconds to go in the round. Final seconds of this fight. If you got your scorecards out, who do you give it to? Look at that! Castillo, what are you doing? If I'm in his corner, I say, what are you doing? What if one of the judges had it that close?
Let me tell you something. That last punch, not only did it score big, but perception-wise with the judges, hey, at the end of the round, it's not about being the tough guy. It's about winning the round. It's that close. You know, listen, he goes back to the corner. I'm his trainer, and I'm chewing him out. And I'm saying, listen, don't ever do that again. It was that close that round. You could have won that round. You land that punch, and they might have saw it your way.
You know, this is going to be tough. I gave Castillo that last round. I gave Bland the first 2 rounds. I gave Castillo the last 2 rounds. I've got it a draw. Now, if you gave that last round to Justice Bland, that means you got him winning 3 rounds to 1. I've got it 2 rounds apiece. I got a 38-38. I got this thing a draw.
I thought the 3 rounds that I gave to Bland were close enough to go either way, but I gave the edge to Bland. I thought Castillo was a little wild. I thought he wasn't landing all his shots. Yes, did he connect? Yes. Did he get some good shots in? Yes. But was it enough to get the win, to get the victory? Randy, to get the victory, Randy.
I know, this is big. I mean, for Bland, it was his professional debut. So does he go to 1-0? Does he go to 0-1? Does Rafael Castillo drop to 1-3? Does he go to, or it's going to be 1-2-1? Let's see what happens. I don't think Castillo won the fight. I think, if anything, he might have pulled out the draw. Bland could have won it. Let's see what happens. The scorecards are being gone over.
Whatever happens, Randy, what an entertaining fight.
It really was. That's what you get on Star Boxing, entertaining fights. Both guys waving their hands as if they feel they've won it. And Jazz Socorro has the scorecards. We're going to go up to Jazz and find out who has won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, give these fighters a round of applause tonight. After 4 rounds of professional fighting, we go to your judges' scorecards. Judges James Kinney, Tony Paolillo, and Marcel Varela all score this fight 39-37 for your winner by unanimous decision. Justice Lil Nasty Bland.
Had a score 39-37. I guess they gave him that last round, 39-37. He wins his professional debut 1-0, and hard luck, Rafael Castillo drops to 1-2. I know this. I want to see him again. Well, only a few days ago, we lost one of the great fighters, not just of